Spurge here with RevZilla, and in this video we are going to break down the Sedici roll top dry saddlebags available at RevZilla.com. So Sedici has introduced a new line of dry luggage. These are going to be the saddlebags. You're also going to have roll top bags as well as roll top backpacks within the line. The saddlebags are going to come in around $150 for the pair, and they're going to be about 20 liters in capacity for each one. So total 40 liters in capacity. Now, Sedici is one of our exclusive brands here to RevZilla, and really what we're seeing here is a whole new approach to how Sedici is attacking the luggage market. When we're talking about $150, really what Sedici was going after, when I talked to some of the designers, was they kind of took a look at all the different saddlebags that were out there, and they said, 20-liter bags are really that happy medium. So this is really going to be aimed at pretty much a do-anything approach. If you start going into larger saddlebags, that's where you get into the ADV or the touring segment. You don't necessarily want to throw them over a smaller, mid-sized naked bike. And they didn't want that. They wanted something that you could put on an adventure bike, you could put on a dual sport, you could put on a naked sport bike or a sport bike or your Bonneville. I know, for example, when I got my Bonneville back in 2005, I did cross-country trips with an old set of, Core-Tech luggage. And the biggest problem there was they give you those little covers to put over top of it to make it waterproof, and the covers blew away on the highway or they would leak from behind. So what I like about the design of a dry bag is that it is guaranteed waterproof. Once you roll the top down, there's no water getting into this. So that's really who Sedici is aiming for. It's more of that do-anything audience. Now, my biggest question and concern was they look a little bit small, but what I like about this is that you can kind of choose how far you want to roll it down. You need to make sure that you get that lip rolled down to get the guaranteed waterproof, but as long as you roll it over there once or twice, you can actually fill them quite full, a little bit more than that, that 20-liter claim of capacity. So there is quite a bit of room once you start playing around with it, and they are a semi-rigid bag. Now what I mean by that is if we take a look at the inside, there is going to be a reinforced semi-rigid component that can be pulled out. So if you want to use it just as a dry bag, I'm going to act clumsily here for a second as I pull this out so you can kind of see it. But this is the insert that sits inside, and that's what gives it its shape. Once you pull it out, it's just a regular dry bag. So this helps to hold the bag off the bike. If you've ever had problems with just using dry bags before, where maybe they're leaning in, rubbing against the rear wheel, that's where the rigid insert comes into play. Now, I'm not going to try and sit here and shove it back into the bag while you watch me flounder around, but I am going to just pull that out. Now, the other thing you'll notice here is that there is going to be the little nozzle. Now, if you've never seen this before, what this does is if it's a dry bag, you are able to kind of push this down and then squeeze the air out of it, make it nice and compact, and then close that up. And that just helps you create a smaller, more compact unit when it is on your motorcycle. Now, the main construction on this is a 500D dual layer tarpaulin. And again, that's where you're getting your waterproof protection. If you've never used a dry bag before, you simply get the waterproof protection by making sure that you close over that lip. I like to say at least 2 times. And then that way you fold down, you snap into place, and water isn't going to get in there. Now, some of the areas that you'll see on the outside, and this is going to kind of take us into mounting a little bit, you're going to have these D-rings all over the place. You're going to have molly rubbing on the outside of each bag. You're going to have handles on both sides, and then there's going to be straps going across the top. The other nitpick that I had with this bag was that the straps weren't long enough. So the straps are going to mount over top of either the back seat. You take the back seat off, you can actually run them under the seat. I mounted this on a T7, I mounted this on a BMW F850 GS. I've yet to try them on my Bonneville, but that would actually probably be where they'd be most appropriate for the use that I would see for this. So what Sedici did was they actually made the straps longer. So one of the pieces of feedback we gave them in early development was that the straps weren't long enough. They made the straps longer so they could fit over a wider variety of motorcycles. The other thing here is this molly webbing on the outside. One of the things this is designed to do is if you want to, you can attach the dry bags from Sedici. This is the 5-liter bag, so if you need extra capacity, they are actually designed to mount to the outside of the bag. So there's a lot of modularity coming into play with this. And then when it comes to mounting the bags themselves, we already talked about that strap that goes over the top. And then the straps that you have to hold it down are simple loop pass-through straps. So you have the loop on one end, you've got the piece of plastic loop through. Go through around the frame rail. Once it's secure around the frame rail, you simply find the double D that you want to mount it to, and it simply kind of pushes right through. So you have to finagle a little bit, but it just simply goes through the double D ring and then it's secure and locked on. This is a design we've seen from a lot of other manufacturers, and Sedici is incorporating it into their new luggage as well. Now, the one tricky thing here is that, if you're running a bike that maybe has a fender eliminator kit on it or doesn't have that piece on the back, you might have to get a little bit creative. If you're not able to use the frame rail straps for the back of it, I found that a set of rock straps works really well. The smaller set of rock straps is an easy way to add in some extra mounting points if you're modified your bike a little bit and it doesn't work. The other thing it works really well with is if you do have luggage racks on your bike and you don't want to run the hard luggage, you just want to mount this to the luggage racks. There's some easy ways that I found to be able to do that as well, especially now that they've elongated that strap on top. So a really nice iteration from what we've seen from Sedici in the past. Really great to see them getting into the dry bag world. And again, coming in around the $150 price point, this is more affordable than the first set of Cortec bags that I had for my cross-country trips on my Bonneville. And I would definitely much rather have something that is guaranteed waterproof than having to try and put little covers on every time it begins to drizzle. So a nice little iteration from Sedici, really aiming at a wide range of riders out there. And if you want to check out some of the other pieces of luggage from Sedici, make sure you check out those videos as well. We're going to break down the roll top dry bags as well as the roll top backpack. So there's a couple different variants depending on what exactly you're looking for your ride. And there's a lot of riders out there that are currently using this gear. So make sure you check out what they have to say. You can always click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. You can read other rider reviews from folks that are already putting the Sedici luggage through its paces. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to one of our gear geeks at 877-792-9455 or shoot an email over to cs@revzilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us today for this look at the Sedici roll top dry saddlebags. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.